Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Garth, how's it going?
Oh, good, man.
Good.
Yes, it's good to be back in Cape Town, but we haven't had time to catch up on our Madagascar
Yeah,
trip.
yes, I was just going through this itinerary we did last week. It's just amazing. Trying to remember some of the names, because you know some of the names in Madagascar can be quite challenging, but it's just so good to be back traveling again, you know?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I must say, I haven't been this excited about a new area for us in Madagascar in many years. And also just the changes like even from the beginning, the brand new airport in Tana. I mean, how was that airport?
Yeah, we knew they had a new airport and a lot of people traveled through it, but just to let people know from past experiences, the airport is just so amazing, so quick to travel through. Remember when we arrived, our luggage was just so easy to get, and our visa.
That's the fastest visa ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose they could call it an entrance fee, but that doesn't bother me. But literally, you pay your 10 euros and you hand over your passport, and then they hand it back to you.
Yeah.
You go like, "Is this it?" And they said, "Yeah, you can go up to the counter," and then they checked us in to the country. Look, my favorite for a first night in Antananarivo, or I'm going to call it Tana from now on, because it's easier for everyone to remember, but the Palsandra Hotel, which is right downtown, it just really is a phenomenal hotel to give you that flavor of Madagascar, and so unique, you know.
No, that old part is nice. We're up on a hill, so you're like up on a hill. It's got beautiful views, and you just feel part of the city. So that's definitely one of the nice, authentic hotels that's still there. I found just easier for connecting with you on your flight. So you'll be in Tana at the beginning, and at the end, that's what we did on our trip now. So that's good. And then from there, we went on to Andasi Bay. It was about a 4 to 5 hour transfer. We stayed at a beautiful lodge called Mantadia Lodge, up on a hill, beautiful views. And then the next day we went on our hiking trip to Andasi Bay, where we spotted the biggest lemur, the Indri. And it's a very loud call.
Yeah, it's like quite an eerie call, but unique. And you see them right up in the canopy calling to each other. So that was quite. We spent 2 nights there, and
so it's a nice experience, because as you start hiking, you hear this call, and it gets louder and louder the closer you get to them. So you get quite excited as you get closer.
And look, Andasi Bay, we always, often people will ask me if they're coming to Tana for business, for instance, and they go, where can they go and see lemurs? And so Andasi Bay, we'll often take clients just to Andasi Bay to see the Indri, and then come back to Tana. And either they're heading back home, or sometimes we will fly clients up to the likes of Nosy Be or Ile Sainte Marie for their beach holiday. These canals that I've heard about for years, these canals, and then gosh, you need to go along. You get on the water, get on the boat, and you go along these canals, and these canals are man-made. And I thought to myself, maybe in my naivety, I imagined canals in the Netherlands, and you're just going along, and I thought, that doesn't really interest me. And these canals, actually, these Pangalang canals, go for over 600 kilometers along the coast, and basically the history behind it is that there's numerous lakes along the coastline, and they weren't connected initially. So the French, over 100 years ago, actually connected them by canal. But now, when you're going through them, it's actually mangroves, and it's totally natural. And when you're going through, the only other people you see are the locals in their dugouts, and they've got the traditional fishing, when they've got sticks in the actual lakes, and they're driving the fish, through these channels, and they're catching their fish there.
Yeah, for me, it was almost like the feeling when you're in the delta, you get these waterways connecting all these lakes. So that boat trip just up that I would call it mangroves or river systems to these different lakes was just magical. For me, one of the highlights of the trip, and also breaking the driving every day. It's so nice to get on a boat and go for 2 hours on the water and just see such a different scenery on the water.
Yeah, I mean, so that drive,
amazing.
In the morning we left Andasi Bay after breakfast, and it was about a 4-hour drive or so, I would say. And then we got to the lake, and then it was about an hour and a half through the lake system and these canals and that. And then we got to this lodge, paradise. That's all I can say. You arrive at this lodge, beautiful white beach, in the forests. The lodge, you walk up these stairs to the main area of the lodge, and you're in their reserve, their own private reserve. That afternoon we just relaxed. So then we went for a snorkel that afternoon, right in front of the lodge. We went out for a snorkel there. which is great, and it's just relaxing after those traveling days. Then the next day, we really was, I suppose you could call that Lima Day, because we...
early morning get up.
Yeah.
Again, they've got this reserve there with lemurs on the reserve. Beautiful forest. Like, what I like about this reserve is it caters for all kinds of people, from young to old, because it's quite flat. There's a little hill, but not that bad at the end you're walking up onto. But beautiful indigenous forest there, where you can see all kinds of different lemur species. The Indra was also there. So early in the morning we walked and saw different kinds of lemur species, so that was quite nice. We had a local guide. What I like about this reserve is the guide that you get caters for you on your whole trip. So he's the guy that is at the reserve looking after you, and he's the guide walking you around.
Yeah.
It's always the same guy that looks after your group that's there, which is quite nice and intimate as well.
I also liked is how they made it a journey. So we walked from the lodge, and you in the forest there. We saw all these different lemurs. Then we walked along the coastline, and then up onto a hill. So we had a view, all the way around. And then we came down to the lake, and then a boat actually came and picked us up and took us back to the lodge. And then we had lunch there.
We also did that little village experience. There's a little fisher village. You actually get out. They've got nice local arts and crafts that they make there that they can sell you. We actually wanted to see the beach, so we walked just that long,
a few minutes, and then you're on the ocean.
Yeah,
you're on the Indian Ocean.
And then you can see the local fishermen in their dugout canoes in the ocean, how they catch fish. That's unbelievable. I don't know how they control those boats.
Incredible.
But it's just amazing to see that as well.
And how that guy came back with his dugout through the surf. I mean, like if it was one of us, we would have been over. But these guys, and fit. You've never seen such fit people.
And you can see the local catch, which is quite nice. You see they even have crayfish there, different kinds of fish that they get. A lot of the lodge get the fish from that village there, so it's all fresh as well. And then from there we went back to the reserve again. We relaxed the afternoon again, where you can just lie on the beach there. They've got a lovely beach there. They even have hammocks in front of your room, so you can. I was lying on a hammock reading my book, which was quite nice. And then early in the evening, once it gets dark, we go to a reserve again on the one they created this island. And there they have the II. So the II is the biggest night lemur, but it's almost extinct, so you don't get many that's left in Madagascar. So it's quite a thing if you can see the II. I've been to Madagascar numerous of times, but I've never seen the II.
Same with me. That was a real first. Quite scary looking animals, and how they really tuck into the coconuts. Incredible strength. They bite through that, and they're on a mission, biting through that coconut. As soon as they crack that shell, they seem to be after the liquid, and then they just drink like you can't believe. So that was a huge highlight for me. If I think holistically on the whole trip, one of the biggest highlights was seeing them. And then we left. We came back to the lodge, and we weren't finished yet. We hadn't had dinner yet, and then we actually went back into the reserve that we had done during the daytime, and we walked at night time. And then it wasn't just about the lemurs. We saw night lemurs then, but then we also saw a frog with a snake, like lining this frog up because he wanted to eat it. We saw the smallest chameleon. Don't ask me how the guy would see it. I mean, they literally, it's like your little pinky finger on a leaf. So that was phenomenal. We probably did that for about another hour or so. And once again, like Johan said, that area is nice and flat in the indigenous forest. So literally, it doesn't matter if I took my mother or if I took my kids there. Everyone can really enjoy the forest and what it has to offer you at night. And then we came back for another fantastic dinner. The food is just out of this world. It was really, really phenomenal. But we were just overnighting. But we had the afternoon there. We had lunch, more seafood and prawns and stuff, and then we snorkeled and relaxed on the beach that afternoon.
We stayed at La Peru, which is one of the lodges there. It's a nice local lodge. It is what I liked about it. They had a nice beach in the front. The gardens and areas were very well kept. Very nice area. The accommodation was quite basic, but it's clean. It's got a traditional, almost like everything is traditionally made there. Even the roofs is made out of those palm leaves that they get there. So it's quite a cool experience.
And it's totally, that night it rained.
Yeah. And it's
totally waterproof, and that
yes.
torrential kind of rain. But I must say that we had quite some fun in that restaurant.
There's a little traditional bar and restaurant, which was...
It reminded me almost like a pirate's bar, restaurant thing. And they were playing the local music and stuff.
And they also have all the traditional rums they make. It's infused with ginger and all the different kind of things there. It was about a 3 hour trip.
Yeah, it was about 3 hours across to Ile Sainte-Marie Harbour, which was... Yeah, I mean, this is really, it was...
Highlight of the trip.
Ile Sainte-Marie, and then there's a little island, Ilanat, just off the bottom of it, of Ile Sainte-Marie. It was phenomenal. I mean, I actually wish we had more time.
Yeah.
But what it has to offer there, I mean, we went to, we got picked up at the airport, and then we got taken to the bottom of the island, and then on a sort of little pierogi boat with a little outboard took us across to Ilanat. And Ilanat's close. Like literally, if you had snorkeling equipment, you could swim across the little channel to Ilanat, and then on Ilanat, when I say it's a small island, it's about it's scattered beaches all the way around it. And if you wanted to walk around it, it's like a day trip, stopping at one of the local restaurants on the beach, and then snorkeling on your way. So you can make like a day trip of walking around the island. And we stayed at a phenomenal little place called Sambatra, right on the beach. It only has 6 chalets. It's run by a South African called Vincent. He's been there, I think, what was he, like 12 years? 12 years he's been there. To me, it's like barefoot luxury. Lovely chalets in the chalets, also locally built materials and that, but it's got everything that one needs.
But this got right in the front, literally your chalet is in the front on the sand. You can hear the water crashing in front of you. There's nobody around you. Beautiful white beaches, crystal clear water. It's like, it was a big surprise when they arrived. It's so untouched. Like there isn't many places left in the world that is untouched and undiscovered. And these are definitely one of those. So I would definitely recommend for any people that go to Madagascar, they have to end their trip there. It really is amazing.
And I mean, so straight away, that afternoon we had time, so we said, well, can we go snorkeling? So he said, well, there's a nice bay that we could go to the next morning, and you can organize a boat to take us there. So we said, great. But we said, what about today? Can we go in front of the lodge? He goes, oh, the snorkeling's not so great there. And I mean, I've dived my whole life, and that snorkeling was out of this world. Like, I mean, we were literally seeing cowrie shells, big cowrie shells live, and you'd see patches of 3-4 of them next to each other. And then there's a ledge that you swim over, and then it's just tropical fish heaven. So, I mean, we came off that, and then at the bar that night, chatting with Vincent, the owner, and we said, Vincent, you downplayed your snorkeling right in front. He said, yeah, but God, wait till you see tomorrow. You know? And then the next day was phenomenal. But that night, I mean, the experience, the design of that lodge. It's a couple of rooms interlinking. The floor sand. So it really is that. To me, that's, you know, one must be careful not chucking the word luxury around. But for me, that's barefoot luxury. That's exactly what I want. And the service levels there, the food. And one can see that on TripAdvisor. It's the best of the whole island. It's the best of the whole island, and you can see it. I mean, we had those prawns, which were the size of baby crayfish. So it was just a phenomenal meal. And
what's nice about this is we've chatted to people, even there's people that walk, because you can walk the island like Gar, so you can explore it in the day. So people walk and they say, oh, this is quite a nice lunch, let's have lunch or a drink here. And then people cancel their accommodation or they stay on longer just to be at this lodge where we are.
Yeah.
Everybody that's been there has said that. And the reason for that is that the owner is so, he likes meeting people, talking to people, and it feels like you're at a house being entertained by somebody. It really feels like a house. And in the evening, everybody sits together on a dinner table. The whole dinner table, everybody sits together and you chat about your adventures from the last week in Madagascar, where are you going to next, and the owner is so helpful. He will tell you the next day where to go, where's the best spot, where's the nice restaurant, what experience, and that the people really like that. He's so welcoming. So definitely a cool experience. And then we went on a boat trip the next morning. It was actually nice because we get to see the whole island very quickly, probably an hour just to drive around the whole little island, and it's just so beautiful. and we got off this little area, and we snorkeled for about 2 hours, hour and a half.
Even longer. Yeah. I mean, we actually all got we got sunburnt on our backs. We should have worn like rash vests or something. You know? But I mean, that snorkeling was out of this world. And once again, it's not deep. Anyone could go
it's like waist deep,
waist deep, literally. There's no currents, and it's just tropical heaven with all these colourful different fish in that, and beautiful coral, not damaged or sun bleached or anything like that. So that is a definite must. Yeah. Then we moved off. We left Sumatra. We went back to the Ile Sainte Marie, and we went and stayed at Princess Bora Lodge. Unbelievable place. Very, very different.
Yeah.
You know, and both between the two properties, very different. But I liked both of them. I think the order we did it was the right way.
Yeah.
Like Princess Bora is like a resort, but done really nicely. It's a luxury resort, you know.
But it's got the local touches still.
Yeah.
It's not one of those resorts that could be any hotel or resort in the whole world. It looks the same. This has got its own charm.
Yeah.
Which I like about it. Beautiful restaurant area, nice pool. They've got like this little walkway, wooden walkway on the deck on the outside in the ocean.
Or the bar there, floating like the bar up there.
It's really cool.
Dive school.
Yeah. And a very good dive school. Like the equipment is very, very good. They have snorkeling gear there, so you can also explore. So there's a nice reef in the front there. You can also just go and snorkel in front of the lodge there, which is nice. And what I like about the lodge is they give you different experiences. You can book a day trip to some of the other bays in the area and have lunch on the beach there.
And they've got their own bay in the north of the island that they take you to, and you can go snorkeling there.
They even have a mangrove system there as well, they said, where you can go on a boat trip in the mangroves as well. They even have a little pirate cemetery where you can go to. So there's lots of different things you can do on the island actually.
There's a forest as well where you can go and see some different lemur species. But I mean, you also, June, June, July, August, you've got the humpback whales that come right off the lodge. So there's a drop off. So you've got these beautiful white beaches, then you've got some snorkeling area, then you can see the darker line where the reef actually drops off, and that's where you've got the humpback whales that come right by it and they're jumping in front of you and all of that.
But it's just like I said, like North Sea is the northern side of Madagascar, and it's got its own charm and it's more commercial, but this for me was definitely a different experience. Much better beaches, crystal clear water, the actual snorkeling experience, how intimate it is with the local people. There's not that many people on the island, which also makes it nice. You can see some areas. Even what's nice about that lodge is they've got a restaurant at the airport. So if you have an early flight the next morning, you can go to the airport and they have a restaurant at the airport.
Yeah, your breakfast there. Yeah,
and it's so nice. Yeah.
But and for me, I've got 2 teenage boys, so I always look at things from a family holiday perspective. And so Ile Sainte Marie is about 1.3 kilometers long, and there's actually a road that runs right up the island. There's not a lot of traffic, so you can literally hire mountain bikes, you can hire quad bikes, you can hire tuk-tuks. You know, they've got these little tuk-tuks, and so you as a family can explore safely. You know, because it's an island, there's not big trucks there, there's not a lot of traffic and whatnot. They've got an amazing spa there at Princess Bora, like a proper spa. Beautiful. Probably one of the best spas I've ever seen. The food was really good.
On an underground cellar, you walk down the cellar, you can then choose your own wine, which is quite nice. I don't have a wine menu, you actually go walk down the cellar, choose your wines that you want. And beautiful, again, it's different type of their food also was really good there. Nice bar also, which I like. Nice decor where you can sit and just relax as well.
And it's
really nice.
I like my beer. The 3 Horse beer, the local beer they've got is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm not normally a big rum drinker, but there's so many different flavored rums there. You know, cinnamon rum and and vanilla and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, you have to. You invariably you're going to end the evening off with having a shot of one of those rums. And I think being on that island with that history of pirates and whatnot, you've got to. Even if you're not a rum drinker, you've got to have at least one. I'm certainly going back with my family, and I want to spend some time, a nice chunk of time there between those 2 islands.
feels like you don't get enough. It feels like you want to bring more of your friends and more of your
Yes.
families with, which is the nice thing about it. And then from there we took them the flight back, because there is flights from Fontana to Ile Sainte-Marie. So we took a flight back, and it was a quick flight. It wasn't even long, it was like an hour, just over an hour or so.
Yeah, not long. I mean, look, there's two ways to get there. Like if you've got the time, like what we just did, and you go over land, you probably need about 6 days traveling to the different areas we just spoke about. Then you take the ferry across to Ile Sainte-Marie, and I highly recommend spend a good chunk of time there between Ile Sainte-Marie and Ile Nat, and stay at two different lodges, and then flying back. Or we have quite a lot of clients, we will fly them from, they've been to a different part of Madagascar, and they'll fly from Antananarivo to Ile Sainte-Marie for the whole beach experience, island experience, and then fly back again. So those are really the two ways. Always best to do exactly what we did. Spend a night in Tanna before you fly home. The reason being, people will often ask, but the flight's in the morning and my international flight's in the evening, but invariably there can be delays with internal flights in Madagascar. I always say it's very important that everyone goes to Madagascar with the right frame of mind. There could be delays, most probably there will be delays. So go spend another night in town. When we stayed at the new Radisson Hotel, Radisson Blue, phenomenal. It's a nice way to, you are tired after all this traveling, it's a nice way to really relax before your international flight. Nice spa there as well at the Radisson, and fantastic staff. Yeah. And that was it. And then we flew back to Johannesburg and then back down our head offices here in Cape Town. Yeah, I mean, just talking about what we offer in Madagascar, we have quite a few of our own guided group tours. We're actually off the back of this trip that we've just done now, we're looking at a new guided group tour. So our group sizes are 12, and we'll have a driver and a guide that goes along. Then we have numerous different packages, that's suggested packages. Then a lot, I mean, what I've always said, a lot of our clients are very seasoned travelers. And invariably they've done quite a bit of research, and they want to go and see this area, they want to see the Tsingy, they want to see the certain lemurs, and then we customize that travel for them.